Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to touch on working with a narcissist. Earlier, I did do a brief live chat on a channel where I announced my Patreon. For more information about that, definitely go back to that live chat and go ahead and listen to it. And I'll mention it at the end of this video as well. But during that live chat, as with any other live chat, I opened the floor up to questions. You know, live chats are a great time to ask me questions, all right? So a survivor did come on there and they said that they believe that they're working with a bunch of narcissists and they wanted some advice for how to deal with that. And I did let them know that I would be making a video to specifically address that, although I lightly addressed it during the live chat, okay? So during the live chat, I did talk to that survivor about their perceptions because people have actually gotten a lot of coaching with me on this topic, like how to get through that situation, you know, especially when they invested a lot of time with the company and it really wasn't an option in their mind to just, you know, let that go and run away from the situation. So they wanted to know how to manage it and the best ways to give themselves the advantages and to make it a more pleasant experience, or to give themselves, you know, make them feel more powerful or in control of the situation. All right, so during the live chat, I did speak to her about her perceptions, and I said, you know, be careful, you know, because some of the pitfalls a lot of times is, you know, our perceptions do become reality, and that can be a good thing if we're basing it off of the right perceptions, of course, right? What we're perceiving. So let's say that we have these negative people at our where our career is, you know, this is how we're earning a living. Maybe this is your passion. And then suddenly you feel like you don't have as much passion for this because you're associating those negative people with the passion. So during the live chat, I did offer the advice of making sure that you're separating the narcissist from the job or from the work, from the career, from your passion, separating the two. They may work there, but they are not, you know, your passion. They are not your career. They are just merely, there are other people who are in the area or in the parameter of where you are getting your work done, you know, and this is where our emotional maturity comes into play. Because once we understand how a narcissist operates, we'll understand why they do the things that they do to begin with. So, you know, in a work setting, we have to be very careful about our perceptions so that it's not giving us the wrong outlook and therefore affecting the quality of our life. Because, you know, a lot of us spend a lot of our lives, especially early on, if we're not retired, right? We spend a lot of our time investing into our careers, into our work, and supporting and taking care of our families. So for the amount of time that we spend at work, if you will, it's very important to be able to have the proper surviving mechanisms, if you will, or in perceptions and outlooks and processes to deal with different kind of personalities in the workplace. Because I'm going to tell you, it's probably nearly impossible to go work for a company and not have one narcissist there. That one person, just somebody, you know. So we have to, you know how to deal with these situations, all right? So like I was saying, first of all, let's start with our perceptions and separating that narcissist from the job. Okay, and this is part of building the armor that you're going to need to build in this situation. This is for the people that want to stay at their work, you know. So right now we're basically talking about the emotional maturity or an emotional intelligence getting strengthened at this point. All right. So the other the other tip that I would like to talk about here on this video, and I think I did brush on it in the live chat, is to minimize the one-on-one contact or just minimize the contact period. And when you do have to interact with them, it's really great if you could keep it at the bare minimal, meaning emailing is wonderful because now you have a paper trail of what they said and what you said. And this is for your own protection, especially when you're dealing with someone that's narcissistic. And if they are targeting you or trying to make you the black sheep of the company, or, trying to sabotage your career, or if you dated this narcissist and now it's over, all types of things. Or if this narcissist is your boss or even your subordinate, okay? It doesn't matter what position they are. If they're out for you, you don't want to give them any ammunition. So it's best to do things like, if you're able to email that communication, that's fine. And at the same token, you don't have to feel obligated to interact with them on any personal level. I highly recommend that you do not, okay? Or, you know what? This is a gray area. This part is a gray area, but not personal area. You don't want to do personal, but for those of you who want to play the game, especially in corporate America, it's full of narcissists, and you're trying to advance your career and you want to have some type of relationship with this person, business relationship, professional relationship, as far as advancing your career, or you have to go through them to get to the next step, or something like that. You can then, yes, use your emotional maturity and put your emotions to the side and get into your logic, guys, and deal with that person knowing who they are, know thy enemy, right? And still not putting anything past them, so that if they do try to do something upperhanded, you would have already considered all the angles and you have a paper trail and you didn't do anything, to make yourself vulnerable. All right, which goes to another point that I would like to point out. Know your rights. Know your rights, because in the live chat, the survivor was saying that all of a sudden she couldn't freely go to the bathroom. She had to report to them, and it made her feel really awkward working for the company for years, and like she couldn't go to the bathroom when she needed to, or something like that. I do understand, like, and you're going on a lunch break sometimes, depending on the level that you work in the company, or how people may need you for this or that, or for meetings, or just for putting schedules together, knowing when you take your lunch or whatever, your boss may want to know something like that. But I would definitely, most companies typically have employee manuals, if not hard copies, things that you could find in HR or your human resource department, things that you could find on the company intranet, and that's usually the website for employees to find out information such as their benefits and whatnot. And there's usually like employee conduct books and attendance policies and the proper procedures to doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, if you will. So, especially, you should know these things anyway. You should know these things anyway. And there's policies on harassment, and you have rights, period, whether your company addresses them or not, certain things that are against the law, no matter where you work, you know what I mean? So, but companies address things as well. And I would highly recommend, especially if like a narcissist is, you're working with a narcissist or someone very shady, or you feel like they're trying to sabotage you, know your rights, become familiar with them, because this yet again is making sure you're not giving them any ammunition, okay? And creating the paper trails, like I said, through emailing. And even then, if you are able, if it's a group thing, you always copying another manager or someone else is getting that email too, but it doesn't matter because you have a record of it as well. But, it also keeps them tamed as to how they're going to reply unless they reply back and keep the other person out of the conversation, which is sneaky. So know your rights as far as any employee manuals and handbooks and, generally even outside of work, like I said, they're just basic human rights that you have as well. Okay. Now, the other thing that I want to address in this working with the narcissist is, knowing not to take things personally. And this is a big one. And I've coached people on this left and right, but we take it so personal, the things that the narcissists say and do to us. We really do. And that really has to stop, and it will be the most freeing thing ever for you. I'm serious. And we know that they're unhappy. We know that they're toxic. We know that they like to do the cycle of abuse, even in professional settings. It's not all just romantic relationships. And we know that they just want to get under your skin. We know that they want to trigger you. We know that they want to try to pick what they think is, a weakness of yours. We know this about them. So then we can't be surprised if they're running out of their emotions, as they typically do. And, they say this, they say that, or, they do something on a sly or passive aggressively, or, oh, you know what, they walk in a room, they said hi to everybody, made eye contact with everyone and looked over me, or, there was an office party and I didn't even get notified about it while everybody else did. Or I had to find out through the word of mouth and they went and told everybody else at their desk. Or, there are little things that the narcissist may do to let you know, like, hey, you were different to me. I don't deal with you the way that I deal with everybody else. You're not on my good side. There are little things that they might do to spite you. Okay. So don't take these things personally. Just know that, narcissists can be the king and queen of pettiness. They really can. Now, I want to also mention this. Now, once we're getting into corporate America and stuff, you may be dealing with a narcissist that could be, do I want to say the word savvier? Or they may be more conscious or more aware of their narcissism. And what that means is they may be, excuse me, I just had lunch. They may be a little better at, say, a lower range narcissist at trying to hide who they really are from other people. Like when you come and, say, hey, they're doing this or that to me, they may try to cover their tracks better. They may see through some of your tactics to protect yourself. Okay. So with these people, you just want to definitely be by the book at your job. And that's another aspect of not only reading the manual, but not giving them the ammunition by, doing certain things. Like if they see, oh, she was only supposed to take an hour break. Every day she's taking 2-hour breaks, and they're maybe quiet about it, but they're documenting it. They're at their desk in their cubicle, looking through the cracks, writing down each date and time. And then one day, they might pull that out of their back when they're ready to strike on you. So be on the straight and narrow at your jobs, of course, in those type of ways, and not giving them the ammunition by, not doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. Even if everybody else is doing it, that narcissist that doesn't like you will, hold that in their back pocket, excuse me, until they feel like they need to strike. Now, for some of you, It really depends on the situations. You know, there could be some severe cases where you may need to just look for another place of employment. And there are a lot of factors that can weigh in on that. And you can still do that responsibly without negating your responsibilities to your family, per se, or putting yourself in a financial bind. It's just going to take you to be logical over emotional. Okay, and you can start looking for that next position, okay, if that's the case. And you know, play your cards right and do not wear your emotions on the sleeve. You do not have to disclose to them, oh, I asked for a half a day tomorrow because I'm interviewing for another job to get away from you. Of course not. You know, keep it under wraps. And then once you are actually hired at the other job, not when you think you're going to get hired, but when you're actually hired, then you can let the left hand know what the right hand has been doing, okay? So just play your cards very carefully in the situations where you feel like, you know what, it's time for me to leave here, take my gifts, take my skills, take my abilities elsewhere, and I'm okay with doing that, okay? Sometimes that's the case. And then other times we just have to increase our emotional maturity so that we can still thrive, okay? Because a known devil, you know, there's a such thing as a known devil. We know how they walk, we know how they breathe, we know how they operate and move. So that will be very helpful, as I said, in playing the game, okay? For those of you in corporate America or whatever. Okay, and then you can actually outsmart that narcissist, you know. And I'm not telling you to get in the ring with them, but just know how to play the game. Know how to play the game. Know how to not take things personal. Know how to create that armor around you. You know, you wake up, it's Friday morning, you just got paid, and you going into work, and here come the narcissist with a funky attitude. Oh, that's their funky attitude. It's not mine. It's not going to ruin my day. You know, things like that. But a lot of times, some survivors have not evolved that far emotionally, and things like that get to them all the time. Look, let them wake up on the wrong side of bed. I'm still going to have my shine. I'm still going to be sparkling. I'm still going to be happy. I'm still going to live my life. And that is the armor that you're going to have to create in these atmospheres, because guess what, you can go look for another job and perhaps it will be better in some ways, but chances are there's another narcissist somewhere. So you know, learning how to thrive, you can still thrive in a professional manner. But yes, there are some situations where it just, you know, stuff hits the fan and you have to do what you have to do, okay, with the sexual harassment and things like that. All right, so there's a lot of situations, but ultimately it does boil down to your emotional maturity, understanding how narcissists move, knowing your rights, of course, and not taking things personally as well. All right. So I hope that this helps someone who has been working with a narcissist, or maybe you haven't worked with a narcissist and you're going into the work field. Sorry, I had to end that. And you just need to know. You just need to know this, you know, because they're everywhere, guys. They really are everywhere. All right. So if this video resonated or helped you, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't done so, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, guys. Over 400 videos here to help you understand narcissistic abuse, toxic relationships, and psychology, increasing your emotional intelligence, and just the list goes on and on and on. I put them all in playlists, and I will be creating the Narcissist and Work playlist now. And I will put this video and that other live chat underneath it. All right. So with that being said, guys, I am now on Patreon, and I really am excited about that. I want you guys to know about this because it's a very happy medium between YouTube and my website, okay? So I do know about the financial abuse that can happen after narcissistic abuse and any toxic situation or relationship. And so I did create Patreon so that you guys can get further access to me and save some money, okay, than you would have going with me one-on-one on my website, all right? So please go back and watch that video. The link will be below about my Patreon and describing the different type of memberships that I have available. And I really think that you guys would really love it, especially the mobile texting support that I now offer through Patreon and on my website, but you'll save a lot of money going through Patreon. So imagine trying to break that trauma bond with a narcissist and you can text Coach Lakia instead of the narcissist. You know, it's a great asset to have and a great investment in yourself. For $150 a month, you can text Lakia, Coach Lakia, anytime you would like. And of course, I will reply when I can, but this is really great in filling the voids, okay? And you get all of the other membership perks that are spelled out on Patreon and in the video. All right, guys, let me wrap this video up. You hear a little commotion in the background. And keep doing the work, guys. And don't let nobody come mess up your money, honey. Okay? Don't let nobody do that. All right? So until next time, guys, please take care.